Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome to The Smoking Tire. My name is Zach Clapman, and today we are driving, I don't know, I've never driven one of these before. This is an 08 Acura TSX that Clint brought up to drive. Thank you very much, Clint. I appreciate it a lot. This is an interesting car. It had an interesting place in like the sport sedan segment when it came out, and it was built for a long time and did a really good job. The way Clint contacted me about this is he sent me his wheel well page, and some of you know what it is, some of you don't. Basically, he built a page. It's a wheel well garage, and it's part social media platform, parts warehouse like Amazon.com for cars, part car forum. So instead of slamming your Facebook page full of car pictures and mods and updates, which your family and friends mostly don't care about, you can do that over at Wheelwell. So you can put pictures up and mods and select specific part numbers. And then when you want to go buy something new, you can go on their search engine, and they have like every part under the sun. They've got good customer service, and if you punch in code TST, you get 15% off. Now, 2008 Acura TSX.
Yep.
2.4 liter inline four, right? Yep. 200 horsepower.
Stock, yeah.
What's the weight of it?
3,200 pounds. Probably with the wheels and the bucket seat, it's probably about 3,200 right now.
Okay.
It's a heavy car.
It's a heavy car for its time, I think, but nowadays it's like,
it's like standard.
Nowadays, like, that's not bad.
Yeah,
which is a weird place we are. Why did you buy this car?
I'm a Honda guy. Had an EG before this. I was looking at this car. Originally, I wanted an RSX, which is like a coupe version of this. That's a 2-liter. But I really wanted 4 doors, and this is one of the only Hondas of that era that had double wishbone suspension. Although there were McPherson, RSX had a lot of like steering problems. This car's worked out better, and they all come fully loaded, like dual power seats. So there's just
we got heated seats, dual power seats,
dual climate. It's just
the gauges, I think, still look pretty nice. You know, they're
it's not a dated looking car at all.
No, it's not. It's really not. The interior is not that dated looking. The exterior, I have always liked the profile of them, honestly. Yeah. And then I'll go around to like the front. I'm like, it's a little simple. It's a little. But these cars, they made them for what, 04 to 2014.
Yeah.
It was
this generation would be 04 to 08, and then there was the Gen 2.
That's right, Gen 2. This is the last of Gen 1.
Yes, correct.
They were on Motor Trend's like Car of the Year in 09. They were on Best Drivers list for like 3 years running, and they won. And I know I'm reading off my notes, but it's because I don't remember the specific names of a racing series. They won the Manufacturers Championship for the touring class in 05.
That's correct.
And then they also won the Drivers Championship, and then they won another Manufacturers Championship the next year, also with the TSX and a bunch of RSXs. Like, it's got racing cred that people don't really know about. It's super well appointed inside. It's obviously going to be more reliable than a cutting board. I don't know. It's a Civic Plus, right?
Exactly.
And we'll get to that in a second. It kind of is, but for now, let's see how she do. We're going to try to keep this video a little more concise because there's a lot of traffic on the road. I'm trying to avoid that. So I'm going to put the window up for noise. All right, so when this came out, competition was basically like BMW 323 and IS 250.
Yep.
IS 250 is rear-wheel drive, but I think it only came in automatic. And the BMW is rear-wheel drive and manual, but more expensive. I feel like the IS 250 was like a compromise. It was Japanese engineering and reliability, rear-wheel drive, but the compromise is like, well, it's only an automatic unless you want to, and you can get bigger engines in them, but for price for price, this is what we're looking at. This, I think in Europe it was a Honda Accord.
Yeah, like in every other market it was a Honda Accord. Yeah, Type S. Japan was the Euro R, and they all came with different engines. In Japan it had the Euro R was a 2-liter. Every market had like a different version of this car. Like even the interiors were completely different.
I mean, the interior in this, and it's the same with Andrew Collins of Jalopnik has a TL. Both of them, the interiors do not look dated. I think they look pretty nice, just as nice as some pretty, basic, like mid-level sedans are today. It's not like it's fancy, but there's nothing in here that screams at me the era it was built, which is really good. These are also really affordable. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what you like.
When
Kelly
I bought
Blue
it,
looks at $7,000.
when I bought it, I probably overpaid because it was hard to find a white black interior and a 6-speed manual transmission. But nowadays, these cars are so cheap. $4,000 for a
$4,000. This is a really cool car for $4,000 because there's no squeaks or rattles in here. So everything's built to a really high quality, as with pretty much any Acura product. My steering feel, I would say, is pretty good. Could be a little heavier. It's like a little on the light side.
Yeah, and actually mine feels a lot heavier than most because when I drive other people's TSXs, it is too light. It's way too light.
But I can feel like this road has a lot of weird undulations, and I can feel them through the steering wheel.
Yeah, I actually have spherical control arm bushings, and that
helps a lot.
That helped tremendously with the steering feel.
Yeah, the steering feels good. The seat is holding me in really well. Obviously, it's aftermarket. Really nice grip through the corners. And so if you watch the video of the Sentra SER that may be up now, I drove it about half an hour ago. It was kind of bounding over this road a lot more. The suspension was good, but it was just a little bit too stiff. This, I'm not feeling any of that.
Yeah.
But I also don't feel like we're leaning over a ton in the corners and we're too soft. This is a really nice compromise.
Yeah, that was pretty much my goal with it. A lot of the other TSX owners that track their car, they run a little bit stiffer suspension, which I've taken mine to the track, and this suspension is way too soft for the track. The car just pushes through every turn.
For a canyon setup, I gotta say, this is real good.
Primarily, I drive this car every weekend through the canyons. And
it's really good. This is a really nice kind of daily driver, fun car setup.
Exactly.
What brakes are on it?
Hawk HP Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, they work pretty well for this car.
I haven't had to dip into them just because it only has 200 horsepower. Like, I feel like we're moving at a good clip, and I can feel a decent amount of torque. But going uphill at altitude, if I lift, it slows down pretty easily.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the brakes have good bite. They have better pedal feel than that Sentra, actually. Not to talk crap about the Sentra. The Sentra's amazing. Yeah. That car was really fun. My only 2 notes on it was like, the brake pedal feels a little soft.
Yeah.
This pedal feels great.
I thought about doing a big brake upgrade on this car, just for like brake fit on the track, but with every big brake upgrade I've ever, like on my Civic, the pedal always felt spongy after you did the upgrade. It had more bite and it could take the heat, but it always felt a little bit more spongy because I had to move more fluid through the caliper.
Right.
At least through my experience.
I mean, this is a really... There's the new Accord. I drove like the Accord Sport on a video, and I have high respect for the Honda Accord. It is a phenomenal car at pretty much everything. It's just it's really good at being a car. But there is something about, especially if you're a younger person, you're like, am I really going to buy the car that a lot of my parents or my parents' friends might have, or I see around? Like, there's just something about them, their identity, that is a little bit too like responsible.
Yeah.
And the Acura, it's also a very responsible car, and it's really like basically like, do you want an Accord but you have a little bit more money?
Yeah.
But if you're a younger person and the prices aren't too different, you can feel like it's a little more special. You feel like the car you have is a little more unique, more luxurious, different looking. Like, I don't see these very often around.
No, especially when I first got it, I didn't really see too many modified ones. But nowadays, we have a whole Instagram like group chat with a ton of people who take theirs to the track, which a couple years ago that was almost unheard of.
I bet.
So.
Because, it seems like if you're going to drive a Honda product at the track, it should be a Civic. Because it's going to be lighter and there's, more aftermarket available. But it's not fun to do the same thing as everybody else. It's not fun to have the same solution as everybody else. Ooh, Speedster.
Yeah, nice.
That's very nice. But that guy doesn't get pulled over for no front plate. That's not fair. That's not fair. All right, do you have any plans for this car? Because right now I feel like you got your handling pretty figured out.
I'm just gonna change the front spring rate to something a bit stiffer, and the car needs an LSD for me. It needs an LSD, so I'm gonna get a Japanese spec Euro R trans. Growing out of that, just cosmetics. I want to do a Spoon Sports front bumper, just simple things. The car is, like you said, it's perfect the way it is for the most part. It drives good. It looks decent. I don't really ask much more from it. So,
yeah, I think again, like the competition at the time, like if you're in your shoes and you're shopping for a car like in this class, if you go and buy a 10-year-old BMW 323, like stuff's gonna break. Like,
and this car has 106,000 miles,
and it feels like it's got 6,000 miles. You know, compared, like that's the compromise. So this is, I don't know, it's nice, man. These are the like leather and leatherette on the door sills is nice.
Mm-hmm.
The design of it's pretty nice. Yeah, I've always been a fan of these. I always see them on the highway, and there's a blue they made them in there. It's like,
oh yeah, second favorite color.
So good.
Yeah.
And I always thought they had a good looking profile. You know, the front isn't really my style, but the rest of it.
That's why I did the Euro R.
That's
why I have the Euro R front lip and the grill. So just because the stock Acura one looks kind of terrible.
Well, after that they got really beaky, so it's not to that point.
Yeah.
But like, you're getting a roomier Civic. It's got more room than the IS300 did or the IS250 did.
Yeah, definitely.
And more importantly, it came with a 6-speed. Like, you could get it with a 6-speed.
Yep.
That's the best part. So
yeah, it was just hard for me to find this color option. I actually drove to Texas to pick this car up.
Very comfy drive back.
Yeah, something broke on the car, but
you told me it wasn't his fault. Wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I love about this job is I get to drive a really wide variety of things, and the more I do it, the more I kind of respect cars I may not have looked at before.
Mm-hmm.
Or right now, we profess the love of the Fiesta ST, and I think this kind of reinforces, like, front wheel drive cars. I don't know. When I grew up, had a bit of a stigma to them.
Yeah, definitely.
And now, like, yes, drifting is super fun, and rear wheel drive has its own kind of. It feels different in the corner, but unless you are sliding the car all the time, which no one really is, like, you can get so much out of a front wheel drive car. You can learn so much about driving, and you can get them in a package that is incredibly reliable, which is a really nice thing to have, and really comfortable. Like, this is a good mix of, like, a grand touring car.
Exactly.
And, you can still track it. Like, this is really cool, man. Thank you for bringing it up, dude.
I
appreciate it on a warm day. Good luck with it. Have fun with it. I don't know if you supercharge it in the future. Give me a call.
That's what everyone's doing these. My buddy's supercharging his, and I might.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Supercharged Honda products are real fun, but you know what? Baby steps. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you want to submit a car, we have a new submission portal. Just click the link down below. It'll take you to the page, and just put in your name, your email, where you're located, and your wheel well page. And again, the wheel well garage is where you can it's a destination for your friends, family, whoever's in your car world. They can go look at what you've done to your car, the photos you've taken of your car, your track days at the car. You can put, like, video links in there and stuff. And then when you want to go part shopping, especially, like, if you have a TSX and you look at his garage and you go, oh, I want to get those shocks. You can click on one of the links and it'll take you to a page where you can buy those shocks. And then you punch in code TST and you get 15% off those shocks. And as I said before, 15% is not a lot when you're talking about something cheap, but when you're talking about car parts, they get expensive real quick. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you supporting us over all these years. And thank you for bringing the car up again, man. Like, it's really cool to entrust a mostly stranger to drive your car, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was kind of hard.
Yeah, you're like, what are we doing here? How fast are we going? All right, where are we going?
I was trying not to look at the speedo the whole time.
I didn't look at it once. It's a very nice looking gauge. Analog, a little blue to it. I'm a fan. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We will catch you later.